Hey people, here's a video. This is a Salamanders army that I have been building kind of out of extra models that I had. It's a 2,000 change, probably. You could run it a couple different ways, be a little bit over 2,000. But I built this with the intention of I'm going to paint it up, I'm going to convert it, build it, paint it up, make it really look nice, and then try and just kind of like put it up for sale. Have it out there and see if I can get somebody to buy it to make a little extra money on the side here. So it's kind of been like an overtime thing that I've been working on. But anyway, you can see that there's a Rhino, Razorback, two 10-man tactical squads that have las cannon, a melt-a-gun, and a veteran sergeant with a power fist and a combi melta. There's a 5-man stern guard squad here with 2 melta-guns and 3 combi meltas, 3 Centurion conversions, which I'll take a closer look at here in a second, 5 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators, a assault squad with double flamer and a veteran sergeant with a power fist, the 2 drop pods, of course. There's a Storm Talon on the back there with las cannons, and then here's a land speeder with Typhoon missile launcher and heavy bolter. Then for the HQs, I have a Vulcan conversion. That is a conversion. It looks, I know from a distance, it might actually look like the real model, which I was trying to go for, so I'm actually kind of proud of that. This guy's a Harath Shin model. Harath Shin is a Forge World Badab Work Salamander specifically character. He's their master apothecary guy. And he's a real butt kicker. He's got some really cool rules that fit in really well with the theme of the army and stuff. And then finally, the guy here's all bright and painted up here in front is a captain or chapter master model with the combination that I love to run, which is the Teeth of Terra, their specific weapon in the Space Marine book, and then a power fist, which is kind of a really fun, nasty combo of a character to bring. So anyway, I'm going to take a closer look at some of the models, and then as they get painted up, I'll actually put some pictures up and stuff, but kind of give you guys a better look. Okay, so first off, I'll go ahead and take a look at this guy, who is my Teeth of Terra guy. I've made his sword. I've elongated the chain sword because it's supposed to be a giant black chain sword. So what I did is I took and chopped the tip off the chain sword he's holding, and added another extra length of chain sword. And then I actually glued it together, filed it, and pinned it before I glued it together, so that thing doesn't fall off. He's got the body of this guy is from a Sanguinary Guard model, which, by the way, is a great model if you ever want to convert like characters for other Space Marine chapters other than the Blood Angels, or even the Blood Angels, really, because they're artificer armor and they look more, grandiose and kind of butt kickerish. I have he has a power fist again from the Sanguinary Guard there. This usually has a blood drop on it. It's hard to tell from here, but what I've done is I actually cut off the blood drop and tried to kind of sculpt it in to look like an Aquilia instead. My camera just doesn't do justice to it. Anyway, all the basing on all these guys are supposed to be kind of like this lava-looking base. So that's what he's got going on the base there of him. I've got a little bit of hand, little flames going on his neck and on his knee pad there. His cloak, I had a buddy who had sculpted up a scaled cloak. Specifically, it was supposed to be for like dark elves, fantasy dark elves. But this works perfectly for like that kind of Hydra or draconic looking leather skin that the Salamanders often have. So I was able to use that, and then he of course has the Salamander shoulder pad and stuff, the glowy eye effect. So yeah, anyway, there's a captain, and he will look better if I actually had a camera that could do him justice. Here's the Vulcan model. Same idea. The body's a Sanguinary Guard model. We had an extra. There's the Dreadnought from Forge World Salamander Dreadnought actually comes with this big old piece of stuff to hang up above him, and we had an extra bit like that. So I was like, bam, I'm going to use this on this guy. I took the fin from the top of the the actual Centurion kit to add to his head to make it look cool. There's a Grey Knight arm. His this again, the Centurion flamer, which is kind of a shorter flamer, I added to the arm, and then the arm, of course, is from a Sanguinary Guard model. So I just took off the floaty gun that he had and added this on to kind of give it that, hey, he's got a flamer on his arm kind of effect. And he's posed on rocks, ready to go. It's going to paint him up, and he's going to look all fun and salamandery. Harath Shin model, kind of the same again, the same idea. His body is a regular Space Marine, but I added in a Sanguinary Guard arms there. He's got apothecary bits. He has, you can see right here, it's maybe a little bit hard to tell. I actually green stuffed some of the scales onto him, so he's going to have some scaly stuff kind of on his armor there. And a lot of the models I tried to do that on to kind of just add to the effect of that scale look. So same thing with these Terminators. They have that kind of all over them. They've got, it's hard to tell with the camera and whatnot, but you know, on their shoulder pads and stuff. And these guys are repurposed. Like I had originally, during 5th edition especially, I had like 20 or 30 Terminators that I had done up all the shoulder pads on and converted up with this cool pre-heresy look to it, and I was going to paint them up to be part of my Emperor's Children Legion. And then along comes 6th, the Terminators aren't as good, and I just don't use them as much. And so I was like, you know what, these guys just have sat, you know, in a box or on the shelf for a couple of years. I'm going to repurpose them, give them some new life, hopefully give them a new home. So I added in some regular Terminator arms, Thunderhammer Storm Shield, added in like I said, the scaling on them, put them on these cool bases to make them look like they're going to be in, lava or whatever, and bam, I've got myself some Salamander Terminators. So next is this Assault Squad. This is one of the ones that kind of, I think, the unsung. Now, some of these guys are in various stages of painting. I have to do the airbrush on them and stuff to get the first couple of coats, and then, of course, you've got the captain who's all the way finished there, and I have some other guys who are kind of in between in the tactical squads. But as I was saying, these jump pack guys, I really like this unit, and I wish that it worked better, but I think it's really good for Salamanders specifically, and it just doesn't work out in the current meta very well of the game. But the unit is like 85 points base, 10 points for a Veteran Sergeant, 25 on top of that for his Power Fist, and then 10 points for Double Flamer. And with Salamander Chapter Tactics, these guys have re-rolled, their Flamers re-rolled a hit, or re-rolled a wound, and his Power Fist is Master Crafted. So this is for like 135 points or something like that. This is just like potentially really nasty if you can get into the backfield without getting shot up. But again, the game is a very shooty game right now, and so they get shot up a lot. So I've added a lot of these kind of like scaled loincloth to a lot of the guys, which is just, like I said with that cloak, I had a guy, my buddy, made the cloak, and then we cast it, he cast it, and I have that mold, and so I recast it, and then like I can cut pieces out of it to add these little loincloths, little scaled loincloths to these models. So there's that kind of fun unit that I think is really underlooked at, I guess, underused, utilized. Here's a Razorback, just kind of normal thing. Added the scaling, green stuff scaling in several places to kind of give it, you know, when it's all painted up, give it that look of being, very Salamander-esque. The Stern Guard, same kind of thing as the Assault Marines. Kind of tried to give them a few shoulder pads and stuff to make them look like they're veterans. Add the scaling to them and stuff like that. I actually took this model right here is one of the original metal Stern Guard, and I pulled off his arms, and it's really hard to tell that he's even the same model. Gave him different arms, but he's got he's got those original legs there with all the added little cool bits and stuff that come with that metal kit. All right, so these guys are kind of a doozy. I don't like the Centurion models very much. Like, I just don't. I think that they're overdone. I don't like where they fit in with the theme. Like, I think they're, like, if you're talking about Iron Hands or maybe Imperial Fists, it fits in with the theme of where they're at. But I don't care for them as far as the fluff of Space Marines come in. Like, the Terminator is supposed to be the apex of the Space Marine armor and technology and stuff like that. And I feel like if they had just been like, okay, we're going to make a bigger Terminator or something, that would have been cooler. Or, I understand why they did what they did, but I just don't like how they went about it. I think they could have done a better job. And that's just my opinion. But I wanted to see if I could do a cool conversion for Centurions. And I think I got halfway there. These guys are smaller than a Centurion model. But I put in a lot of work on them, put in a lot of effort to really kind of make them beef and make them feel, in the theme and fit the fluff. And it is a conversion. So what I had done is I had, like I said with the Terminators, I had some of these extra Terminators that had the pre-heresy looking shoulder pad. I had already had it on. So then I added on these extra, I made into it on some of them like an extra shoulder pad that has like this flamey look. So when you get the paint on there, it will look like it's the same sort of freehand flame going on that I had on the Captain over there. There's again some of these added on scaly bits to make it look more like it's scaled. I did a chest piece that I did over the top of the regular Terminator. Leg plates, side plates. I took arms that were lightning claw arms on a lot of them. Some of them are power fist arms, but cleaned them up, made them look like they're just big hands, and then added in some of the extra Centurion bits because I had extra Centurion bits that weren't being used, and these are the base of the close combat weapon. This one's actually a las cannon. The other one's a close combat weapon, and then added in just a bit from the tip of the grav gun. So it's a little bit like I like what happened with it. If I had it again, now that I've done it, I might do it a little bit differently. But I'm pretty proud of it still. I'm happy with where it's at, and I think that they will make a really neat, unique version of the Centurion. So the way that they would play, for instance, now this is one thing that's kind of fun with this army, that specific play style, is this Harath Shin guy, his special rule is that he's an independent character apothecary. So kind of like a sanguinary priest. But rather than just conferring regular Fill No Pain, he confers a 4+ Fill No Pain to whatever unit he joins. So I like to add him into the Centurions, and he just makes it so that, you set the Centurions in cover, they've got a 2+ save, their toughness 5, and then, if you get them in cover, the right cover, that's, runes or something like that, that's a 4+ cover save, and then they have a Fill No Pain after that, a 4+ Fill No Pain. So it's like, it's as good as if you had a Librarian in there that was giving him Terminator armor, the Invulnerable save. So I really like that combination. I think that's a lot of fun. So this guy back here, pretty much normal. I did add some scaling to him to make him fit in with the theme. The rider in there has the Salamander shoulder pad, so that he fits in with the theme as well. Same thing with the Rhinos, similar to the Razorback, just kind of added some scaling to it. Same with this Landspeeder. And then the drop pods are the same idea. They've kind of been, they've had some scaling added to the outside of them. They're magnetized so that you can have the doors open or closed. Tactical squads. Tactical squads are very similar. They're the ones who kind of have the most paint on them right now. I've started doing the highlight layer and black on a few of them to fit them in with the standard paint scheme of the Salamanders. Sergeants are kind of fun. I got some cool posing. Tried to differentiate, make them look different, so they're not all just stock model. Oh, here's my bolter kind of guy. I had to hand convert, or come up with some sort of conversion for the combi meltas. It's still kind of a hard bit to find outside of the stern guard kit, and like I said, this was stuff that I had extra. So he's got a little kind of like thing hanging, little extra scaling hanging off one of the shoulder pads there to make him, fit in theme, look like he might be that might be some sort of badge rank or something like that. He's got a bear head, which is there's not very many of them, but I did want to add in a few to make it, be like, oh hey, remember these guys have the black skin, right? The Nocturne, or specifically, I guess, Salamander, Vulcan's gene seed makes them have those red eyes and the fully black skin. But anyway, this is an ABR sergeant, so like he's got a conversion. I changed out his arms, pulled off some of the iconography, really kind of tried to make him look unique and different and fit into this Salamander theme rather than just being a stock ABR guy. This guy had an extra one of the actual specifically made for Salamander what's the word I want to use? Sorry, Power Fists that comes from GW. So I added that into this model. He's bareheaded again. Has that looks very similar to the other guy in theme as far as the piece hanging off, the drop there, the combi weapon, very bareheaded kind of look. But I wanted them to stand out and look different from the regular guys. So anyway, this is kind of the army that I've been working on kind of off and on in my free time, and really enjoyed it. I hope that you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.